What's going on, guys? I am back with another double header. It seems like every time I record one of these battles, they end up being like 3 minutes. So sorry for all the double headers, I guess. This is an NU double header with possibly one of my favorite teams I've ever made, actually. So yeah. I guess they weren't the best of battles, but oh well. Let's just get right on to this one. So when you look at my team, you may be thinking, you know, that's a decently balanced team. You got your Pylo Swine, a Scarf Sock, maybe a Banded, Golurk, Specs Electrode, maybe even a Soboka Braviary, and a Life Orb Basculin. No. That is a Banded Basculin, Banded Braviary, Banded Golurk, and Banded Sock. I don't know what I was thinking when I made this team, and for some reason it works. I don't know why, but it's basically hyper-offensive, just overpower their one defensive wall and then destroy the rest of their team. His team, you may notice some things about it. I know the first thing I noticed was that everything is shiny, so I can't let him win. I need to uphold everyone's unfaggotry here, and I just cannot let this guy win. Also, this man's team seems pretty similar to mine in the fact that it's pretty hyper-offensive with the Pylo Swine. His just looks a bit more setup savvy, with the Ludicolo, which is a huge threat in Musharna and whatnot. So let's get right on to the battle. We both lead off with our Pylo Swines. The only difference is that his is shiny. Can't let him win, remember that. I thought he would set up his rocks here, so I go into the Masculine Basculi, because Showdown doesn't like long names, even though that is an amazing name. I didn't think that an Ice Shard would kill me, which is why I go for the Waterfall. I switch out because I think that I could save that thing for Death Fodder, and I catch him on the Ice Shard. I'm gonna go for the Earthquake here. I probably should have set up Stealth Rocks, but you know, whatever. Here I thought he would Rain Dance, so I go into the Masculine Basculin as Death Fodder, but he actually goes for Leech Seed. Now that is a great set. I personally love Sub-Seed Ludicolo. I just think that's probably the wrong tier to do it in. It works a lot better in OU, to be perfectly honest. So I'm going to U-turn on the switch as he goes into Laron, and then I'm going to go into my Banded Golurk. And I believe I go for the Dynamic Punch. Yes, I do. That's going to do a lot to this Ludicolo. And I'm just going to have to bank on it hitting himself, really. But I thought he would attack here. I honestly did. You know, I have a lot of physical threats on my team, but he ends up going for the Leech Seed. I don't know why. That seems like a very bad time to go for a Leech Seed, but whatever. I'm not going to complain. I'm going to U-turn, kill off that thing. I'm going to go into my Pylo Swine. I'm going to stay in and go for the Icicle Crash to see what he wants to do, and he actually sets up a Coil. So now this thing is a huge threat. I love Coil Electriles myself, personally, but whatever. So I'm going to go into my Golurk as he does set up another one. So I'm basically going to have to bank on Confusions to make this a little easier. But he doesn't hit himself. Of course, right? He sets up another Coil. So now that thing's +3, so like, wow, dude. Of course he can't get confused there either, I mean, why would he? So he just drags me into my Electrode. I'm gonna Volt Switch. I honestly thought it would do more. I am Life Orb and everything. But, you know, whatever. I guess he's, like, specially defensive or whatever. He is not getting confused. That really annoyed me in this battle. But regardless, I'm just gonna fire off some Banded Shadow Punches. He snaps out of his confusion, brings me down to 13% with a Dragon Tail, and brings me into my Braviary. I don't really mind because I know that a return can kill it. I am Banded and Stab and all that junk. He's gonna go into his Laron. I assume he knows that I'm choiced at this point, so I'm just gonna switch back and go into my Golurk as Death Fodder, or maybe he would like set up Stealth Rocks or something. But at the same time, he does have a Pylo Swine. I'm gonna go for the Earthquake, not gonna mess around with Threat, and yeah, the thing just goes down. He's gonna go into his Musharna. I am very intimidated by this thing. Afraid of its Calm Minds and whatnot. He actually sets up one as I switch into my Braviary. So I'm just gonna not even mess around and just go for the Brave for trying to kill it, and I don't know why he Calm Mind again here. He really likes setting up on this team, I guess. But yeah, there's no way. I mean, he should have known that my Braviary was already banded. Regardless, he's gonna go into his Kadabra, go ahead and kill me off with the Psychic. So, you know, not much to say about that. I'm gonna go for the Thunderbolt with my Electrode. It doesn't kill him. God damn, my upstairs neighbors are maybe. My upstairs neighbors are noisy. I don't really care that it didn't kill him though, because it actually means that my Piloswine can come in and clean up the rest of his team with Ice Shard. Yeah, that's not something you see very often. Regardless, that was a good game, it was pretty fun, and Sokka actually didn't do anything. But anyway, the second battle here is against my friend, my buddy, Zabuza of the Water, who also made the intro to this. So thank you to him for that. But his team looks pretty threatening just from the looks of it. I mean, that Rampardos, huge threat, because of its, you know, giant attack stat. If that Exeggutor is the sub one with the Citrus Berry, then that will be annoying as hell. That's probably one of the most annoying things in the game for me. That Metang, I guess, is a decent Stealth Rock setter-upper. And I'm gonna have to overpower that Armaldo or switch into my Golurk to block its rapid spins. That Seismitoad, I actually don't have a grass move on this team, so I'll have to be kind of careful about that too. Although, because most of the things on my team are banded, and most Seismitoads especially are defensive, I guess it won't be that big of a deal. Whatever! Anyway, get on with the battle. He's gonna lead off with his Seismitoad, I'm gonna lead off with my Piloswine as per usual. We're gonna trade rocks for rocks on the first turn. Pretty standard stuff, I guess. He's actually gonna knock off my Eviolite, which is kind of annoying, I guess. I crit him with the Earthquake here. That kind of sucks. Yeah, that just kind of sucks. I'm sorry for that, man. It means that I can kill him off with a Ice Shard. And then he sends in his Electros and starts coiling again. I don't know what's up with Coil Electros, man. I just stand in Icicle Crash to see what he wants to do, but now, just like in the last battle, this thing is a giant threat. Again. So I'm going to switch into my Banded Sock, mainly just to fire off big damage on this thing so I can revenge it with something else. Just see how much a close combat will do at +2. It does 50% on the nose, which is good enough, except for the fact that he has the Drain Punch. But at the same time, that doesn't really matter because he'll be forced to kill me again after I close combat, which will bring him down to 8%, which means that Drain Punch will not give him back very much health, which means that I can easily revenge him with another Pokemon, whether it be physical or not. That Pokemon happens to be Basculin. I can easily revenge that. I don't know why I went for the Aqua Jet here. I could have just as easily revenged him with a Waterfall. In fact, Aqua Jet might have not even killed. Regardless, he's gonna send in his Exeggutor, and then he sets up a substitute. And I got very annoyed now, because I assumed it was Citrus Berry. So I U-turn. I'm just gonna go back into my Piloswine, assuming that he would go for the Sleep Powder. Thankfully, I am right on that. So I'm gonna switch back into my Braviary. I don't even care about the Stealth Rock's damage at this point. What is that noise? I guess it's upstairs neighbors doing their thing. I don't even care about Rock's damage at this point because this thing is basically just here to kill that dang Exeggutor. However, what I notice is that it's actually Pitaya Berry and not Citrus Berry, which means that it'll be pretty easy to deal with. Anyway, I'm gonna U-turn, and he's gonna send in his Electros as Death Fodder. Thankfully, due to my EV spread, I will be able to live one more Stealth Rock switch in, which means I can bait in his Exeggutor with the Piloswine, so I can go back into my Braviary, live on 1% from Rock's damage as he sets up a substitute. Now, I thought this out pretty carefully. My basic plan was to kill myself with Brave Bird so I could come in and revenge him with something else. And it just works just as I thought it would. I can easily go into my Basculin, get him with the Crunch. I gotta say, Basculin is one of my favorite things in NU. Just like Banded, Stab, Adaptability, Waterfall is just way too powerful. Anyway, I'm gonna predict the Rapid Spin and go into my Golurk. Even if he doesn't Rapid Spin, I can pretty much take whatever he wants to go for. And he's gonna try to Earthquake me, but my Earthquake is just far too powerful, man. Just banded Golurk. Honestly, I wish Golurk would move up to RU. This thing is ridiculous. But anyway, he's gonna go into his Rampardos. Oh, my screen fell asleep. Hello? Okay, yeah, he's gonna go into his Rampardos, revenge me with the Earthquake. However, what I do notice is that I see lefties, which means that he is not Scarf, which means I can revenge him easily with my Basculin, which means that his last Pokemon is a Metang. And Metang has a Violite and Reflect, so it'll be a little difficult to take down, except that kinda sorta get a crit. Now, that is I find that debatable as to whether that mattered, because he would still have to take out my Basculin and my Piloswine, which I would argue Metang is not powerful enough to do. Regardless, good game. That was a lot of fun. Again, another 2-0. And yeah, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.